Racers, are we ready?
Yes.
Are we ready for the Zip Chair Gaming Esports?
"68 days until the biggest collegiate LAN event in Texas begins, and today many spots will be filled. 4 teams and 4 game titles in the CECC South Regional will punch their ticket for the collegiate esports version of the Big Dance, but we ourselves have one spot to give out. 3 service academies, aka the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, all have a chance to grab just one spot in Texas, and in one day after a single round robin and finals, only one service academy can call themselves the top branch in the CECC. As a part of the road to Arlington, it's time for the final day of the CECC Service Academy Overwatch Qualifiers presented by ZipChair, as we say aloha friends and welcome inside of the booth alongside my partner Nerdy Bird here, Clutch Key, to bring you the action as we determine which one of these 3 academies will make an appearance at Esports Stadium Arlington in early May. So Artie, patch notes, hot fixes, rank resets, and all of that going on. Can't really be sure on what we're going to be seeing, but is there anything with compositions or heroes really in general that you think we're going to be seeing today?
Okay, so I'm gonna just be blatantly honest here. I still think Maga in the right hands is insanely powerful. The #1 current Maga player, of course, is one of my friends from Boise State, so I'm slightly biased in favor of Maga, but I feel like if you know how to run that comp, and you can still do it. He's busted in the right hands. However, I do think JQ and Ramatra composition, so Jotes, which we used to see like back 3-4 seasons ago, extremely powerful once again in the right player's hands. And then additionally, a Ram Rush composition or a JQ sustain comp, both extremely powerful. Again, these favor comps that, you know, in all honesty, the JQ, if you want to run Ram Rush, that's a Lucio Moira heaven, and then you add in just a Genji and a Tracer who just are, you know, you don't have to kill someone, you just have to apply passive to them, and then all of a sudden your support, who's already in the backline anyway, because you never see your Moira to begin with, is killing them, and they're like, why can't I get any healing? And the Moira's just like, haha, my DPS poked you within the last seconds, so you're dead now. So with that in mind, plus the map that we are going to be going into, I do think we're going to be seeing some variations of Ram Rush, Jotes, or JQ sustain compositions coming in. If we see a Reinhardt, I'll be shocked. I won't be dissatisfied, though, because I love me some Reinhardt play. I'll just feel really bad for that tank player.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot going on here, and you were talking about map earlier on. The map we are going to is being determined at the moment here, as both of the teams, it works out a little bit differently here rule set-wise. Both teams will get a ban to start, and then the team that wins, or its home team necessarily in this case, in this matchup, it is the Naval Academy that gets the home team play, will get to pick the map. And the first map we are headed to after a ban of Busan and a ban of Antarctic Peninsula leaves 5 maps open inside of all the control points, control maps, I should say. But that leaves out one map, and it is the standard map here on Lijiang Tower. So, I mean, you were talking about Brawl, and you were talking about Lucio behind the scenes as well. So, this is pretty standard. The Lijiang Tower pick is a pretty standard map pick as well. So, I mean, this is, who knows what the heck we're going to see here. But Brawl, like you were saying, is probably the most potential with this map.
I just pray we don't see a Sim TP into window on Garden and a Lucio that actually knows the rollout, and then instant, you know it's play of the game moment. Once you see the Lucio that starts the rollout, you see them hit the top of the doorway as it drops at the spawn, and then you see the Sim on the enemy team, you're just like, okay, play of the game incoming.
Right.
Just everyone go quiet. But with that in mind, we know the map. We've introduced the team names. We can actually take a quick look at the rosters. So
Yep.
I believe, why don't we take a look at our home squad first? Let's do Navy, I think, would be a good idea.
Yeah,
The team
let's go
that
ahead
said,
and
let's go Lijiang.
Yeah, let's go ahead and check out Navy's rosters real quick as we get that set up. And of course, for Navy's side, you've got really a lot of good potential here from the Naval Academy. Electric Void, Zero Star, Numdoc, Strawberry 8, and Burger Boy. We'll have that for you in just a couple of moments here to show on your screen. But otherwise, a lot of great teams here. And then for Army West Point, Shiz, Stade Mold, Rock, Mulan, Destroyer. I think before we have seen a lot of these players inside of that ECAC, one of the partner programs here for the CECC and Esports U. But as you can see at the bottom of your screen right now, Navy Academy's roster, Burger Boy, Strawberry 8, Zero Star, Mini Electric Void, as well as Numdoc. And this is, again, a good lineup here for Navy. I remember seeing some of these players before, so this is a return for some, a new phase for others, but otherwise a set-up Navy squad. And we're going to get to see now Army's roster right now as we get to see, again, CM Spoon, Stade Mold, Destroyer, Shiz, and Rock. Again, a few players we have seen before in the ECAC side during their journey in one of our partner conferences, but now we get to see them play for a spot into CECC Texas here in 2024. So lots to play for, like we were saying earlier on. One spot to get for all three academies here, and we will go all throughout the day. All of this will be best of threes, by the way, so it'll be best of threes. It'll be shorter matches than normal between all three matches, and then we get into the finals, best of 5 with the 2 best records, or the tiebreaker determined right after that, determined by our administration. And otherwise, we will get set here. Lijiang Tower, first map as we get underway now. And already, once again, standard map, standard pick here. And for the nighttime version of this map, pretty nice to see here as we get in set for the Service Academy qualifiers to start us off this morning.
There's our holographic fish zone that I was talking about with regards to Lucio and Symmetra meeting their demise, and Lucio getting instant PO2G here on Gardens. We've got 3 sub-maps. You've got the opportunity of Night Market right here, as the name suggests. Lijiang Tower Night Market. A little weird to see it in the daytime still, in my opinion. We just previously saw Gardens. There is our takoyaki stand. And then additionally, we could theoretically see Control Center, but we're starting out on Night Market. I am seeing the Reinhardt come out. I am excited and I'm scared for this human being. We also have the Brigitte May Torbjorn. So this is a wall and mall brawl composition. From Navy, we're going to see a Sigma, which typically you attribute to that more of that spam comp, but Farah with that rework going in, determined to not have to deal with any hit scan. Also should be pretty easy. No need for a Mercy Pocket anymore, at least in my opinion. There's the TP, the wall, but they took so long without that Lucio amp speed. Everyone's going to surround them. May unfortunately already used Cryo, but it looks like they'll be able to come back in and do some decent damage. Sigma close to fall, accretion has been used, and Sig is still surprisingly standing despite this Reinhardt also now getting extremely low. That's 2 down, and I do believe Army West Point has taken this one.
Army takes the first point here, and you'd like to see the speed here from Navy. It was a matter of speed versus teleporter, and like you were saying earlier, Navy not having that Lucio probably was the downfall of that, just because they're not fast enough into the point. That composition really only works if you're first into the gate, first into the window, and unfortunately for them, they were way too late for the speed of Army. And already starting off with a fire strike. Look how aggressive they're playing.
Rock decides to charge through, does not make contact, lands a decent fire strike, 90 and counting currently on this first shatter. And you mentioned it, you know, that speed being so essential also on control points. It is essential to be able to be the first fight winner. 60% of the time, that first fight, regardless of map type, is going to be the team that ends up winning. We now have that Mercy Pocket, despite there being no hit scan on the West Army team. And another fire strike comes through from Numdoc. They're rotating coastline. Far is trying to provide suppressing fire while this Rhine rotates. There's another charge, but they cut it short. Schmitz, I think, will unfortunately lose out on his turret, as Brig and Ryan are battling out near this corridor. And there's an early Rocket Barrage taking down 2.
Not bad, though. Rocket Barrage will take down 2 at the moment, and that's actually good news for you because the rest of the team follows. And there's also the resurrection that comes up from Strawberry 8 as well, so she will get a great res onto the point. Now it's just a stall out here for Army, not using the sound barrier to work with, but they will pop the Valkyrie at the same time. That's a huge ultimate to invest here, although Naval Academy is is still loaded up on ultimate, still has an Earth Shatter available, still has a Kitsune Rush coming up to them as well. But Army West Point with 4 ultimates on their board. I mean, this is a lot of ultimates to use for Army coming up here. No Nano Boost, unfortunately, but that still might be more than enough.
We hear one shatter, we have Blizzard come in, returning shatter, Beat is also dropped, so of the 4 ults online for Army West Point, we have now used 3, and then we're coming up, I counted Torb's ult as being online, despite it only down 6. We see Electric Void get destroyed by Destroyer, Reinhardt trying to make sure everyone can make it out alive, and possibly Mercy. Strawberry going for that risky res, I don't think we have time for it anyway. Everyone has respawn. We have the Kiko swap as well that's going to be having Kitsune rush as we go on into this next fight. Best of luck with this Torb ultimate online though.
Let's see, they're going to run this all the way down. Molten Core's going to come up. Kitsune Rush is out there, and Burger Boy has to teleport in order to cleanse that Molten Core damage that was just on them. And now the Reinhardt gets a little bit surrounded. Overtime clock is forced down, but somebody's going to need to touch here. It's bleeding away. Somebody's got to touch, guys. Nobody does, and that's it. 127. Nobody touches the point. The wall keeps them out. Naval Academy just can't touch the point, and that's not a great start for you.
Okay, well, let me ask your opinion on this one. You have an angry German man with a shield, and then an angry Swedish man with a tiny hammer, and there's a wall in front of you. What is your choice?
Try to knock your head against the wall and go in.
Okay, so you still suggest go in. I would suggest crying and begging the rest of your team to go in from the other doorway, because I can't go through the angry German man. I'm a very small human being. Those other 2 people also were very small human beings. Yes, Torb is short, but Reinhardt is a beast. And then we see Naval. Ooh, the Bastion swap, but we also do see this Junkrat May. Still that wall and brawl. I love the Lucio. I am heavily biased, and I will not be ashamed of admitting that. Countercharge comes through, and Numdog first to fall. Bastion, they still have artillery, finally decides to pop it out. Rock, undeterred, pushing forward through this corridor, says, okay, back up, my shield's at half health. Bastion doesn't know where anyone has gone because they hit their S keys for once. Now it looks like Army West Point will be able to lock down this point very fast.
It's not bad though. You don't lose a lot there for Naval Academy. You're only giving up the point. You don't lose a life, so you can reset, you can regroup and play into this. The Bastion into the big shield is a really good thing. Unfortunately though, yeah, you're running into a Junkrat in that server room. Not a great place to be.
Junkrat spam versus that Bastion, it's a risk versus reward type of deal, a beast spam and type of strategy as well, but we do see Junkrat coming up online with this Riptire possibly on it, struggling to keep this Reinhardt alive, took a significant amount of damage. We did have the wherewithal to back off and stay around Dune Buggy though, and that's going to manage to keep their Ryan alive, and Destroyer destroyed 0-star. Reinhardt now pushing forward, we see the resurrection come out. Sojourn, you better thank your mercy, but unfortunately, using that cooldown early means no one can really cross through this corridor.
No one can cross, and 30-second cooldown on that resurrection, right? So now Naval Academy has to make a choice. No ultimates on the board. They're going to run into an Earthshatter as well. Got to protect against it. You either stay here and wait for that Earthshatter to potentially be used, or you just got to rush right in, because right now just nothing's working coming across this wall.
Fatty Shatter. Fatty Shatter. Well, the wall goes up. Riptire's used to get anti. Down goes Electro Void, Numdog, and 0-star goes to the Riptire. That's a reset and rinse repeat if you are currently Army West Point. Naval Academy, however, Mercy? Oh, don't play with your food. Just send Strawberry. Send her back to the spawn. Don't be mean. Thank you. My heart goes out to you, Strawberry. I am a Lucio main, but I definitely know that feeling of being a Mercy player in that moment. We have Nano Boost online. Who do you think is getting that Nano clutch key?
Oh, I think it's Rock. It's got to be Rock. Rock's going to hit a Shatter, and Rock's going to pop off for a clip here. Watch, this wall's going to drop, and then they're going to use a Shatter.
Oh, it was huge. You called it perfectly. Oh, that pedal? Burger Boy, that pedal was actually kind of massive. You completely messed up Rock's play, but Burger, you are going to beat the blunt end of a hammer. Electro Void also goes down. We end up losing Junkrat, but Numdog getting a... Man.
Oh, boy.
Moment of silence for that Reinhardt's charge.
Oh, man. Army West Point gets the first point on the board, 127-100-0. Night Market and Control Center on Lijiang Tower starts off the day on the right foot here and play the game Rock. Surely this has got to be the right at the end there with the swing. No, it's actually from the first point. Or was this knockaway for 2?
Ooh.
Yeah, it was. It was knockaway for at least 2. Get 0-star off the map. And then it was the Kiriko that had the TP out as well, but getting a lot of damage done thanks to the environmental kill. And of course, environmental kills are worth a lot in this game if you're talking about just play of the games in general. So overall, Army West Point showing dominance, only giving up 27% in the terms of Lijiang Tower. So now we go on to our next map here, and I believe it is going to be map choice. So as long as it isn't played 3 times in a row, is what I remember off these rule sets. Although we'll get confirmation on that in just a couple of moments here. But looking to see if there's maybe even more bans, or if we, because if we ban one map on either side, Flashpoint is not going to be a thing. So
that's first ban basically picks the map if you are able to ban on Flashpoint. But I mean, theoretically, if you follow the rules of how other tournaments are going, we could just see another control. They just banned 2 control maps again. It's just we just can't see control again for our third and final map. Whether that's going to be the case, I don't know. But map bans for Flashpoint, that's a little toxic.
Yeah, no, I mean Flash. Well, we'll see, because obviously for Naval Academy right now, this would be their map pick, right? This would be their choice to play with, even as the losing team of the first map. I don't know if you necessarily want to go to a map that has control points, because that didn't look the prettiest, to be fair. So I think right now we're going to be able to find out probably escort or hybrid. I think would most likely be the play, or even push, or even I heard Kings Row. I don't know. Scrims Row, really?
Okay. So I need to fill in our viewership here. So we had Navy actually it's banned for our initial map series for this first map pick. It was Navy to ban Antarctic Peninsula, and then we had Busan ban. And so what those 2 things told me is that neither one of these teams likes spam. So those 2 maps, when it comes to the control realm, can actually be our spam type maps. I mean, Busan with all 3 different variations. You can have spam, you can have sniper duels, and then you can run brawl when you get finally onto mecha base, and you can run you can run the Junkrat centric comps. But then for the other 2, if you don't have high ground advantage, if you don't want to have to take that space, then you just pray and hope it's not your first map, that it's not the second map in the rotation. Somehow that, City Center never ends up being the map you have to go on. So I think we are better off not seeing another control map, because we just saw Brawl v Brawl, and it heavily favored one team. So I think, honestly, if you want to go to the ways of old, because let's be honest, the Brawl Reinhardt composition, that's early Overwatch 2, and that is like bread and butter of classic, like end of an era Overwatch 1. So if you want to stick with that, go Scrims Row. If you don't, if you don't, go Havana. Go completely different. You could go spam and go Havana, but I don't think these teams want to play spam.
Yeah, or I mean, what if like let's throw a curveball out of left field, right? Let's say maybe dive potential, right? We haven't seen any dive yet, right? We haven't seen a dive potential. Could be right, Roch Point, Gibraltar, Dorado. Who knows at this point, right? You never know what you could get out of left field, especially with the Naval Academy. We haven't really gotten to get a good look at them, right? We have Army. We've seen maybe once or twice, but otherwise not a big sight line on them either. So who knows? Maybe a dive potential. Maybe change it up a little bit, especially with some of the changes, right? I mean, you could spam out. You've got that little bit more of a tracer, even though the minimum fall-off range is reduced, right? And then you could have, I don't know. I saw yesterday, right? We saw yesterday during I think it was during CECC South, or no, I'm not sorry, not during South. During the special presentation by Esports U, by the way, the Blue Light Nittany Invitational. I think we saw. It was funny seeing Doomfish, Tracer, and Sombra work out. So I mean. It could get interesting. Who knows at this point, because it is the Academy's pick. But we are going to see an escort map, as we're being told right now, and it's not going to be Havana. It's going to go all the way to Australia. It's Junkertown we're headed to.
Okay, so we did see the Sigma come out early on Night Market for our first sub-map type. The one thing that I will say is that the caveat of having a Sig, like if your tank is blowing up, there is one of 2 things happening. Your tank is either being stupid, which I can say in this instance, it was not the tank being stupid. It was the wrong types of DPS to follow up with the tank. Like, if your tank is blowing up, it's either them being in a bad spot, or there's too much pressure being applied to them, and our DPS are not applying pressure to the enemy tank or enemy DPS. So the other team is just, like, staring down your tank, and your tank is just mortified because it becomes a 1v5 type situation. So if you have that Sig, you need to have DPS that can take angles, that can be not cowering in fear behind your Sigma, and that is, that's how you play Junkertown. You have that Sig, you post up, you have snipers, you have maybe a Tracer that goes off angle, and I will admit, you brought up the 5-man dive. I love 5-man. You can use that to outmaneuver a spam composition. The only scary thing is that if you don't time your cooldowns right, you don't engage together, call the right targets, you're going to end up receiving a rock to the face and then crying because you're going to get basically one-shot comboed with a follow-up from either a support or a follow-up from a DPS when the Sigma rocks you. It's again, risk versus reward, feast or famine. Is it worth it, or are you just gonna go spam or just be staring down Sigma shields the entire time, which is fine. Also, there's Junkertown changes that I haven't really seen a lot of teams cope well with, so perhaps we won't see as much sniper work happening, at least on point 1, because those changes for point 1 have definitely made my life as an Ana player so much easier to keep my team alive from a Widowmaker, because I'm just like, hi, this outhouse is now 10 feet tall. Can't hit me.
I feel that as a support player. Yeah, I feel that the changes are actually really nice. So they are headed into the game, and we are headed to Junkertown, ladies and gentlemen. This could very well be the final map that we will see between these two teams. Like we were saying earlier, best of 3 for the round robin all the entire way through until we get to the BO5 finals. So it'll be the first to 2 here or first to 3 when we get to finals. We're looking in terms of series score. And for Junkertown, like you were saying, this is actually the some of the changes right back there behind the point number 1. We'll see some of the changes with the cover areas, right? Some of the cover areas in the final point as well.
Here
you
you
go. New cover. There it is, the new cover. Still in the same daytime, by the way. But yes, the new cover is out.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We've got an Echo Dive with so Shiz and Rock are gonna be comboing with follow-ups from Mulan's Discord, so long as the Discord target doesn't LOSN instantaneously. Then we've got a Bastion, an Ana, and a Sigma. Okay, so what this tells me is if you target the Ana, you're gonna get slept. Target Kiriko, she's gonna step away. You target Bastion, he's gonna cry to his Sigma and be like, Sigma, rock this person, or Ana, sleep this person. Strawberry will be like, I got you, and sleep this Doomfist. And then Zero can just slide away. Army, this is a hard comp to play against and play into. You've chosen one of the most difficult compositions to play to begin with, but Electro Void is going to make me eat my words anyway.
Yeah, but Electro Void off already as Mulan is able to take it. And you were talking about Zenyatta being really, really good in this meta right now. Well, Zenyatta showing off already. Doomfist in the back line, and Doomfist is just going to dive right on in along with Shiz following up with that as well. And Strawberry 8 goes down. It's now the Sigma just fighting for their life to stay alive. Meanwhile, Shiz just going to flick, and Rock is going to flick onto the Kiko as well. Just with a power block and trying to take care of this Bastion. Bastion gone, but not before Electro Void can get to it. This is just a dive on in, and Navy's got no answers to start this one off.
Okay, so again, Clutchkey, you know the people that I know, so you're aware that one of the best Bastion players in the world is a good friend of mine. Well, at least best Bastion players in North America is a good friend of mine. There's some maps where he refuses to play Bastion, and he will do it on Junkertown. However, you need to be careful with your duels. It's important with Bastion that you pick an angle similar to how Zen is positioned right now, and it's like it's you versus me and no one else can see us. But positioning behind your tank is no fun as Bastion, and that's why Electric has decided to swap off and is now going Pharah, which did work out decently well on Lijiang. We'll have to see if it ends up being the bread and butter of this team significantly, because the swaps have just, this is what they've been doing. They have one fallback, but Stayed Mold, I'm sorry about, I'm not insulting this person, I swear that's their actual name. On this Widow is very impressive. Holds this entire angle, but this Ana is undeterred by the fact that there is a tank in their face. That is scary. Suzu's used. There's the nano.
Even going to use the nano boost onto Rock here to just see if they can dive anything on the back line. The Sigma's been low for a couple of moments now, but we'll back away for the moment. Orbit Discord is on the Sigma as well as the Infra site just to help out this team. Destroyer, Rock, all getting their final blow picks. State Mold will put Pharah onto the ground. And 4.5 minutes left to go. I mean, this entire team. Oh, here comes the stagger from the Kiriko. No teleportation target, but finally gets out, and Rock is kind of confused as to how you get out of that situation.
It's the annoyance of anyone that plays against the Kiriko. I mean, like, you use the Suzu, it buys you like 1.5 extra seconds of time, and then you're just crying and holding down your shift button, praying you can get out. Shiz is gonna walk up behind, now engage on the soldier, whiffs the stickies, and commits to the beam. Doomfist Meteor Strike comes in, and we do see Zero and Electric have both fallen, and Strawberry, oh, and Burger Boy.
Team wipe there, and this is going to be Stade Mode, not even using the sniper to get it out. Get out that final blow, which just gives them another 90 seconds on the clock. 5 minutes and 15 seconds now So we have Naval Academy coming up on three ultimates, actually, with the Gravitic Flux alongside of the Kitsune Rush. This on us bloodthirsty, mind you, just walking up in this entire team. Normally you'd think maybe it's the Doomfist, maybe it's the DPS walking up. No, it's the Ana that's actually leading the charge here.
Destroyer is getting away with too much. I'm saying this with utmost respect, but Destroyer, you should be getting pressured way more than you are. Naval Academy, let's fix that. Why is Destroyer allowed to just walk up and nade at will?
Another nade goes in, and that's going to be a purple there for one member. This does have the duplication available, also a Transcendence to maybe save the Doomfist that's falling oh so low, down to half. Don't even need it, though. So again, the regenerative healing buff for everybody. Well, Transcendence could very well help you out. There's going to be the Gravitic Flux up at the same time, but I'm assuming Transcendence is going to be here. Not even needed, though, because of the accretion that is built by Shiz on the duplication. State Mode is able to get rid of Strawberry 8, though, so a start for Army here at the very least. And Mulan also getting Electric Void. That's a huge chunk of damage down. And the Zenyatta's just going to pop off for 3 eliminations there. It's the Sigma left to go. It is a team wipe. Now, we'll keep it here as Strawberry does have the Nano Boost available, but is anybody going to be able to touch with this? Zero Star switching on over, it was on the Trace earlier. Trying to stick with it, but now you've got the Nano Boost to bash out a lot of damage to rip away at this team, but it might be too little, too late to be using it. Rock and Mulan finding 3. And now the final meters left to go. Final 5, it's just Cesario on point. But again, the switch might have been needed to make earlier, as it's just kick after kick away from the card. You will not stay here. And it's just the try from the Kiriko, just for nothing. Uno, dos, adios, completing the entire map of Junkertown with 333. They get all 3.
Okay, so the new age of Overwatch as Season 9 has come in. And yes, we had the hotfix, but as everyone says, what the heck are the devs doing? Because, like, when we read the leaked notes originally, I was kind of like, is this a cry for help? Is this a cry for help? And once again, I reiterate, is this a cry for help? I understand what they did. By smashing us all near gold and then changing it to the extent that they have, this is not Overwatch anymore. It's like Overwatch 2.5. I'm not complaining about it, but the one thing I will say is that the way of passive supports is gone. You cannot get away with being a support player and strictly being like, I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing. It is very rare now where you're going to get yelled at by your team for being the overly oppressive type support. For getting too many picks. Like, originally, when you had those DPS Moiras or you had those DPS Babs, some people would complain saying you're not healing enough, you're not healing enough. It doesn't matter. If your DPS start doing damage and you confirm the kill, that is exactly how this game is meant to work. Now, I love it. I feel bad for Mercy mains. I feel bad for people that aren't used to having to do damage. But we could definitely see that coming out from Destroyer and Mulan. They were frontlining. Should your supports be frontlining? Absolutely not! But they did it anyway.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, Destroyer got away with a lot of things that in my games would get punished. But in this case, for Army, they're able to get away with it, and they're able to score 3 points, only going 27 seconds under the standard timing of 4 minutes. Now for Navy Academy, they're going to have a tall task here, and it's already going to start off on the wrong foot. State Mode is able to take care of Zero Star on that off angle, just to the top side, to the right, as you can see, is staying there for right now, getting rid of the Widowmaker, and now the damage is going to have to be a lot. But the big thing here, it was with that Bastion on that Orb of Discord. You just got to get out of sight of it because of that little change to the Orb of Discord, where it can't stay on the same person for 7 seconds, or you can't go back to the same person after 7 seconds. So, Game Mode still getting rid of Numdoc, and Mulan taking care of Strawberry 8 means that this fight is pretty much done and dusted.
Widowmakers that actually land shots are so oppressive, but the sheer existence of a Widow can also scare the living daylights out of teams. Some Widows will jokingly say, imagine how scared you are. I'm missing 80% of my shots, but you refuse to walk because of the odds of me hitting you. And that's what these Widows do. This Widow is undeterred by the aspect of there being a Bastion on the other team. Stay Bold is literally on low ground in mid, just looking down the barrel of their gun.
They had the Torbjorn also low, the Doomfist also low, but they can't find him either, so the Doomfist staying alive, and everyone on this team is still up. Great hiding away for your supports for Army right now. Is State Mode, again, another headshot for this Widowmaker is so good. Kitsune Rushes will go on for Destroyer. Burger Boy will use the Valkyrie. Is this going to be worth anything, though, for either team? Let's find out. It's going to be their artillery strike for right now, and the Torbjorn walking up gets destroyed by Numdoc here, so Shiz getting a little risky with it. But the risk does not pay off for this fight overall. 836 Nate is able to land right onto the Zenyatta. The Zenyatta still gets away with it. There's going to be the Javelin throw onto the Doomfist, so the Doomfist does not have a power block, but you do have power from is Mulan, still hitting headshots onto Zero Star. Now it's a little bit more even on either side, but Doomfist is in. Electric Void is able to find 2, and Rock now just having a power block staying alive. But if this Widowmaker is going to keep hitting shots, that's good news for you. As now, oh, it's the Mercy that's gone too. That's huge for you. Rock at 188. Can't find any healing for the moment, and Electric Void will finally take care of it. So the Bastion now finding its way to do a lot more damage, but they'll back off for the moment.
These map changes, like I said, the water tower, the outhouse, all of those, literally just being put up on 10 to 12 foot platforms, I think is hilarious, a way to make a change to the map. However, the one thing I will say is it's a double-edged sword. If this Widowmaker drops to low ground, which is what we have seen Stable do, initially, it's great for natural cover to prevent you from dying to that Widow who's going to peek from that window out of initial spawn. However, now, it provides natural cover for the Widowmaker. It's so much harder to kill them. But Destroyer overstays their welcome. Remember, they were frontlining on Ana, but they weren't getting punished. But Kiriko, if you don't have your cooldowns, you are in trouble. And we hear the Captive Sun come out in response. There's Trance, and Zero Star has fallen.
Yeah, but they might get some more damage. Strawberry with a great couple of shots onto the Widowmaker upstairs. It might be too little, too late, though. That Captivating Sun was great news. Unfortunately, the rest of the team starts to fall, so 53 seconds left to go. Already not a lot of answers here for Naval Academy. They're coming up on 4 ultimates, yes, but Army West Point coming up on a Meteor Strike that could be very impactful.
Okay, so theoretically, Burger Boy holds on to Valkyrie until you hear Meteor Strike. Destroyer, I am curious as to why you decided to go Life Cleaver, but the little needles are a little bit more than just tickles or pinpricks now. They actually hurt, just like the Fruity Pebbles that came out of Ramatra's gun. Also very much so painful, but we have Mulan on the high ground, finally gets spotted out, is going to get a disgusting amount of damage. There's the Meteor Strike, and Valk's already happening.
Valk happens, but the red still gets off, so we're back to a full 5v5. Rock's in a whole lot of trouble here. 400 can get helped out by can't get helped out by Kiriko because he switched on over to a Life Weaver instead. But Stain Mold is still going to hit shots here, and it's just the Bastion left to go. 1 second left. Nobody can touch the point. Not even the Mercy can when the Valkyrie has run out, and Army West Point shuts the door on the Naval Academy. The series won 2-0, and Army West Point only needs a win to guarantee themselves a spot in the finals to be one away from CECC Texas come up in early May.
Stay bold on this Widowmaker. This is what I was talking about. You know, they dropped down. Now they have natural cover.
Can hide from my
so,
sight.
Is it a blessing? Is it a curse? Well, if you're stay bold, it's bold. Congratulations. Now you just got to beat one other team in this round robin series. But nonetheless, I don't know if J-Town was the way to go. You got to keep in mind, are you prepped to cope with the changes on a map? And this is the only map that really received changes this season. And very rarely do we see maps actually get much change. This isn't Valorant, where the devs are like actually actively listening to what people have to say about maps until it becomes an issue, i.e. there's like a gas canister over on point 1 that had a bigger hitbox because of in low quality it was a smaller item. And I think it was Flats who called it out publicly, and finally it was fixed when Flats noticed it. But like, most of us players knew about it for an extended period of time. However, now we have these changes on Junkertown that are significant, and no other maps really experience this. So I don't know. Do you really want to? Do you want to risk it and play that? Risk it for the biscuit? I don't think it's worth it at this point.
Mm-hmm. And well, so Army West Point does risk it. I mean, you saw Destroyer risk it a lot of times, just the front line. And hey, risk pays off when you're just killing everything in sight and able to get away with everything in their path. But yes, same thing with Army, though. They're able to get away with everything. They're able to win out the series 2-0. Only 27% giving up on Lijiang Tower. Not a single point given up on Junkertown. So in the end, they move on to 1-0. And Army, or for Naval Academy, they're going to have to wait for their opponent in Air Force Academy, which will come up very soon as well, to even try to make the finals. They got to get the win there to see what the determination is following that. By the way, folks, quick thing for you, CECC Service Academy Qualifier is presented to you by ZipChair, as the official gaming chair of the CECC. You can head on over to zipchair.com and elevate your gaming chair today. We will look to get an interview, but we are going to take a break. When we come back, it'll be around 1:30 Eastern Time. Unless we get the interview, we will have our next matchup for you right here at the CECC Service Academy Qualifier. So we'll be right back. It's the CECC Service Academy Qualifier presented by ZipChair right here on Esports U.